And let's see, they've got a traffic controller here today. Okay. Two things Sanibel does not have is traffic lights and street lights. The street lights we could do without. I think the traffic lights, they're really past a point where they should have some traffic lights, at least two of them. But I think it's in part of the culture of the island not to have them. I guess I'm paying a guy or a gal, often a gal there, to do all that traffic management over a year. Would or just 2 or 3 years probably pay for a basic traffic light. But anyway, like I said, part of the culture, part of the charm. But this part of Periwinkle is where most of the shopping, a lot of the businesses are, a lot of restaurants. And there's a lot still that is available. As you might guess, a lot of businesses closed after Ian. Periwinkle Park here is a mobile home park that was completely destroyed in Ian, and now it's reopened and they're selling lots again, putting homes on them. But they have one thing they're militant about there is no dogs. It's even on the sign, the welcome to Periwinkle Park, no dogs in all caps. So I'm not sure what that's about. Not sure that would hold up if someone had a legitimate service dog. Because normally when you see no dogs, it says except service animals. Nope, not them. No dogs, all caps. I think it's even on their website, on the Facebook page, and all the things. More places for sale or lease. So I did look out the house listings, and they're up a third over last year. Keep in mind, Ian has been a few years now. I want to say 4, could be off, plus or minus. There's a record amount of property for sale here on the island. A lot of people are saying that's because the Canadians aren't coming to Florida like they normally do because they hate Trump. Not going to make a political opinion about that either way. It's just the word. Those are both e-bikes. Definitely not class 1 e-bikes, which is what you're supposed to have on Sanibel. Now my e-bike can be reprogrammed to be class 1, 2, or 3. So it can be compliant. Biker gang! Once we get past Periwinkle, we'll get to a more, I guess you'd call it rural space. You won't see so many bikes. There's a golf course off to the left, if you can see it. After Ian subsided, there were thousands and thousands of fish littering the golf course. As you can imagine, fish, heat, sunlight, it stank to high heaven for a while. But there were much bigger things to worry about than fish on a golf course nobody could use shortly, for quite a while. Thank you. Yeah, it's a serious fisher. Love it. Oh, there's the bookstore. We need to stop there later. I think for a specific book. One thing I really like about Sanibel is there are almost no chains. There's a few, like 7-Eleven. CVS, maybe a couple of others. But to date, believe it or not, there's no Starbucks on the island. I'm not sure how that's happened, but I'm quite happy with that because there are locally owned coffee shops. But that's part of the charm of Sanibel to me. There's a lot of small businesses, each with their own take. Oh, 2 more e-bikes. And most small business owners aren't rich. They're generally earning a living, especially in a touristy place like this. Just earning a living. The brake cables are swapping around. I'm not sure if it was in screen or not. I think I've got that sorted out now. If it was, sorry about that. The cafe in here is a nice little traditional breakfast cafe. Looks good. Cheeseburger. We've had mixed results with. Seems to be issues with enough staff and service. And my opinion for quite a few years in business has been labor's something you compete for. There's a cost to it, and when the cost goes up, if you want to be competitive, you have to follow the market. When insurance goes up, it's not generally wise to give yourself less insurance. Gas and energy prices go up, there might be room to trim a hair or two, but you don't just start wholesale cutting. And I think maybe Panera Bread has learned that lesson. As I was reading recently that they had gone through and cut the quality of their products, had done a bunch of staff cuts, and of course sales went up. They had a very short-term bump until people figured out I couldn't get help and I wasn't getting what I used to pay for. And my favorite, I think, of all time is Circuit City, where some genius decided that their well-paid sales staff wasn't really doing anything, so got rid of them and crashed the whole company, which it never recovered from. Not sure what the deal is here. I've never been in there. There's Lions Club and a couple other groups, so I think they do charity programs there. It's a nice little kids park. A couple more e-bikes. You can always tell an e-bike because there has to be someplace a battery goes. There's a fat spot. Like my e-bike, it's incorporated into the frame. For the most part, just makes it look like a heftier bike, but it's a very fat section of frame. Like those two we just went by, I don't know if you could see it, but they just had batteries attached to more of a traditional frame. And this is Fenneman's bike rental. Like I said, if I was renting bikes, that's where I'd get it. Billy's, in my experience anyway, hasn't maintained them as well. I think both places provide repair services if you need your bike worked on. I don't mind tasting. There's a coffee shop. I'm gonna stop. Here we go. I have no way of really seeing what this video is capturing very much of it, so this may be shit, but maybe not. We'll see. To the left is where Bailey's used to be. It was by far the oldest grocery store on the island. It was completely destroyed in the hurricane. Thankfully, there was also Jerry's Grocery, which was built elevated and survived relatively unscathed. Had some roof damage, water damage from that. But they were up and running really quickly, which was kind of a salvation to the community and, frankly, to the tradespeople that were rebuilding the island. Bailey's will be back, and they've got a smaller store now, and I might stop there and take a break. That's the bit of Bailey's.